Do you want to take a look at it? This is literally monkey bars.
He's the one who brought the idea, and it's in the video. You keep saying it's uninspired. It doesn't matter how uninspired it is. If it's done, and the job is done, and the job gets implemented, he should get paid for that. That shouldn't be free, don't you think? Don't you think that means something?
I don't think it makes meaningful.
At what point do you go to work lyrics and you go, I only sold 10% of today's sales, guys, so don't pay me.
It's the nuance of how much. Wait. Yeah, I think I got it. So it's the nuance of how much someone should be compensated based off of how unique of an idea this is. So you're saying, for example, it doesn't matter if this guy brings it.
But I do want to watch Willie's MrBeast video. All right, f it. Let's watch it.
MrBeast is YouTube's biggest creator turned villain.
Do you want a heart to save your life? Or do you want a MrBeast rap Tesla?
Look, I get it. I'm tired of the MrBeast shit. You're tired of the MrBeast shit. I'm watching this because Willie is getting a tremendous amount of hate. Not just from, like, people on Reddit, which we're going to see, but, like, he got confronted by lyrics and Chud logic. So if I agree with a lot of stuff Chud says, chances are I'm going to disagree with stuff in this video. That might be interesting for you guys.
I would literally kill for a Tesla.
Good boy.
Jesus, I didn't know I had brain cancer.
Now his lawsuits for harassment.
I just diagnosed myself. Right there I am. Right there. That's me, obviously. I got super skinny.
Good boy. That now has lawsuits for harassment, causing psychological damage, paying for contestants' therapy. Many challenges involve children. There's even allegations of him harboring multiple predators and protecting them.
These are some very serious allegations. MrBeast team, they are denying these allegations.
They're gonna reach out to me and say they want me to say that it was consensual.
As well as many other allegations such as rigging competitions, faking videos, illegal lotteries, charity scams, and causing obesity.
If you get a soda, it's over 2,000 calories for one meal. Poor diet and especially excessive sugar consumption is the #1 cause of death and health problems in America, including some of the health problems that MrBeast claims to care so much about.
Some of this stuff is stupid, but other parts paint a dark picture that demands an answer. This is a complicated subject where criticism can be applied to everybody. MrBeast.
So Willie specifically wanted us to watch this video because I think, just for context before we get super late into it, all the comments people are mad. The video probably has a super negative like ratio. Willie said he has not gotten this much hate online since he did the Nerd City video fucking 4 years ago. This is like the worst performing video Willie's posted in 4 years.
Is seriously in the wrong. Dogpack pushed false allegations, which is wrong.
There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess.
This guy Googled a name and ran a story to over 3 million people without confirming that's the same guy. The lack of
that is 100% the case.
Common sense hurts my head.
It's so nice to get vindication on this, but I wish I wish Willie's video was better received because then people would care more.
Z-biotic pre-alcohol to get through this. Fruity, we all have busy lives and we can't waste a day stuck inside sitting on the couch because we had a couple drinks the night before.
What weight ratio do you consider the worst? Last time you said 92 was the worst for you. No, 92 is the worst for me on this channel. My videos oftentimes do not get 92% on this channel. Like 80 is like, this is the worst video I've ever posted on here. On my main channel, I've definitely had like 70s and stuff before in my earlier content. Even before I got like botted. But no, this video definitely is probably in the 50s or 60s if I had to guess. I would actually like Willie to give me a clarification on that because there's no way the YouTube bot, or not the bot, the extension is going to work on this one. All those people have the extension and they're going to skew those numbers dramatically. So I don't even want to read it.
Alcohol is the first genetically engineered probiotic. It was designed by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Me and my dad just went on a father-son vacation.
All right, we did enough of this. We're gonna keep going through. Jesus.
It all broke with MrBeast's friend, former roommate Chris Tyson, buying Lolly from Shadman and hanging on the wall of their room. Lolly is sexualized drawings of minors. Chris was known to have had this for years, but criticism really didn't come until the public went after Dr. Disrespect. This was seen as exceptionally bad because this Lolly was...
Again, we were covering this in fucking February, and this became like a drama in like June, July. Nobody gave a fuck about this Chris Tyson story. They only cared about it like... I don't know. They only cared about it when they were covering with Tipster, I guess. I don't know. If they even covered it back then at all.
Drawn by Shadman, someone who drew real-life depictions of minors. Someone asked, can you draw Keemstar's daughter giving head to Trump? And Shadman replies, I'll do it if Trump wins. This took place in 2016, and Shad followed through on that promise. Shadman would depict...
The crazy thing is, I actually got confirmation from Keem that this occurred. For years, I did not know that he drew Keem's daughter doing a sex act. I thought he was convinced not to do it, and the only thing he drew was like the suggestive picture, which is still horrible. It's still terrible, but I didn't know he actually drew his daughter doing a sex act. That's fucking crazy. So all my contempt that I had for him was mostly based on like Daphne Keane. And like obviously the Keem's daughter stuff, but I didn't know it was as bad as the Daphne Keane stuff.
The actress in the Logan movie getting graped. Old social media messages from Chris would then surface. Why would you use your headset for anything other than VR Lolly gang rape porn? This is coming from a guy who owns a Shadman drawing as the centerpiece of his living room. Chris would tweet out the Lolly, bonus fidget spinners to really throw in some extra autism. Chris adamantly supporting and buying Lolly from a guy drawing real life depictions of minors is insane. A major red flag at the least, but it gets worse. Chris was messaging an alleged minor kiss emojis, calling them dad. This led to Chris deleting their entire Snapchat. Chris set up a hentai bot and was tagging minors. Here's Chris posting porn. Chris was 21 years old here, by the way. There is no defending this. Nah, it doesn't do gay for some reason, but literally everything is allowed there, so go for it. At Chris, I want your penis. Chris replies, you can have it right now. Nice shot, Pickle. He's behind you. Ah ha ha ha. So there was...
I think to this day, I still haven't read most of this. Like, I'm seeing some of this now for the first time.
Sauce on my titties? Hump me, fuck me. Daddy better make me come. Even the most favorite...
Did you hear tomorrow Boblax is uploading Twitter versus It's Everyday Bro and Team 10? I'm glad he's doing this, because it is literally, if his channel had a chance to come back, he's solidifying that it will not.
Favorable interpretation of this all just being edgy jokes, it's still extremely inappropriate. Chris is posting porn to minors. Now, at some point, this Discord would be scrubbed, and it would become the official MrBeast server with Jimmy in it. It would still be weird. Chris says, MrBeast joins in to comment on my penis size. I love it. Here's Chris linking to Shadman's Lolly website. Here's the real MrBeast joining the conversation about Chris's penis size, while minors are all over the Discord. Here, Chris posts a picture that seems to be Danielle Bergoli, saying she's only 14? Damn. What the...
Dude, there has been so much weird pedo shit about fucking Danielle Bergoli. I do not understand. Like, that woman became a fucking multi-millionaire for, like, doing an OnlyFans on her birthday. There is some, like, really weird shit about Danielle Bergoli.
Did you think she was? 16 is legal in some states. If she's 14, I'm 14. This was seemingly confirmed by clicking the attachment and it linking to Danielle Bergoli's Wikipedia. I want to be clear, this was MrBeast's server. I don't believe for a second he didn't know Chris was talking like this. He needs to give a statement. I don't think firing Chris is enough. Chris would tweet, I would like to apologize for my past behavior or comment. If it hurt or offended anyone, it was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we mutually decided that it's best that I permanently step away from all things MrBeast. I want to add that I never groomed anyone. To lump these two factors together, that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes, is disgusting, and it did not happen. I learned that my humor is not acceptable. Your old humor was fine if it was with and about adults, but it wasn't. MrBeast would give a statement more so saying he fired her than it was this mutual stepping away. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Chris Tyson's behavior online, and am disgusted and appalled by such unacceptable acts. But again, you own the server this happened in.
Oh no! What am I gonna do?
All right, so far there's nothing here that's super like I don't think, does anyone disagree with him on the Chris Tyson stuff, chat, or is that pretty much? We got some topics here. Jimmy knew about Delaware, reckless reporting, James Warren. We'll get there.
Recorded videos from the same room the Lolly was hanging in. I don't believe him. Jimmy goes on about how he hired a third party to investigate misconduct in the company and removed Chris from the company completely. This would blow up even more when a former MrBeast employee named Dogpack would say that everybody in the company knew that Chris was a risk to children.
People have internally known at the company that, like, Chris is kind of a potential minors attracted person, and the company protects her, or they were protecting her, and they protected her as long as they could. Jimmy knew, everyone knew, so it's a mess when, like, MrBeast contestants are being exposed to, like, minor attracted persons and the companies protecting them, encouraging like almost children simping for these people.
Dogpack would try to expose that multiple higher-ups at the MrBeast company.
Everything he says sounds stupid. Even if I like generally agree with almost every single thing that he's saying about like Chris Tyson, just the way he says it sounds so fucking cringe.
Company would be predators, with one being on the registry. This is Jake Weddle, another former MrBeast
Oh god, this is where it starts, I imagine.
Testimony.
I heard, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people.
The person that Jake Weddle is accusing, by the way, goes by Delaware.
Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender.
And again, full disclosure, I'm pretty sure I know Jimmy's reason why he hired Delaware. No, I can't say anything at this point. No, I don't think it's worth public interest to even argue it. I will let nature take its course.
On the registry and everything. Who worked there?
1 to 11 years old. I'm gonna blur some of the information because he was 16 when he
If he doesn't say it, I'll say it eventually, obviously, but I don't really see a reason to push that forward.
Committed the crime. This was known by Chris Tyson, who posted this information, which makes people like me certain that Jimmy knew. If you were making a company that targets children, why are you hiring an offender that went after a prepubescent child? It would later be confirmed that Jimmy knew by Delaware's brother-in-law, Jake the Viking. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. He is a registered sex offender. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took the plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but
Why say it if you knew? Because Keem told everybody I knew. That was like the other night. That's the only reason I'm mentioning it, is because everyone knows that I know, so I might as well just disclose it before we talk about the subject that I know the answer.
Still had to register. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017/18. He was reluctant to be in the video because of the charges. That's why he wore a mask. Now, I understand that Delaware was a minor when he committed the crime, and if he wanted to work in retail or construction, I'd be cool with it. Not on the MrBeast brand that centers around selling
100%.
chocolate.
You can't just be working at MrBeast and be a registered sex offender. I don't know anything about whether they're trying to get his records expunged. I have no idea about that part. But if they are doing that, that's crazy. If they're saying that they disagree with the judgment or something, that's fucking crazy too. This is just something you're not supposed to take a risk with when you're like the leading kids content creator and like the biggest YouTuber on the platform. This is not a risk that you should take, and you will get blowback for it 100 out of 100 times.
To children. He allegedly met up with an underage fan at his house. The formal onboarding document was leaked by former MrBeast employees, and in it, Jimmy admits,
I'd say the average MrBeast viewer is a teenage memer that likes video games.
If your audience is primarily minors, you can't have someone that feels like they need to wear a mask to hide from their criminal past of a...
But we don't know for a matter of fact that he wore the mask to hide from people. Apparently, he's been in multiple videos without the mask, so that might have just been for the fucking video.
Assaulting a prepubescent minor. Crazy that even needs to be said.
He'll be in videos.
But again, that's such a stupid point. There's not a single soul on this planet that thinks the Delaware stuff is cool and that like it's totally normal.
Thumbnails. He'll be around. And whenever he is.
I think it's like pretty huge if you have justification for his hiring a registered sex offender. Well, I don't think that... Again, knowing that I know what's going on, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think there's any justification for hiring a registered sex offender. I don't think that there's a thing he could say that would make people go, oh, okay, that makes sense. I know from a human level why it might have happened, but I don't think that that's going to be a big page turner for anybody in particular.
He's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to... Is it more on the nose?
So, like, I think it's kind of inconsequential because I don't think it's going to change anyone's opinion if they just knew the reason. And also, I have a secondhand source, not a primary source. So it doesn't really make sense to divulge that. Again, if my source is still Keemstar, that's probably not a good enough reason to inject myself and make myself the center of attention for something that he's inevitably going to respond to. Admittedly, not as fast as I assumed.
MrBeast looking past Chris and giving him way too much of the benefit of the doubt, I sort of have sympathy for. They were roommates, good friends, and in his onboarding document, he even says, Chris was the first subscriber, someone Jimmy found funny as They're homies. With Delaware, I don't get it at all. Now, Delaware hasn't worked at MrBeast in years, but it's still worthy criticism. We still need an explanation. How do you know this guy's history and go, yeah, he's a complete liability. Just make him wear a mask. Are you insane?
I don't know if they did that. Again, that's what we need Jimmy's response for. If that's true, sure, but if he's in other videos without a mask, I don't know if that really matters.
But this is
I imagine Shud had a problem with that portion.
Before the allegations start to go sideways, all journalistic ethics go out the window. Most of the criticism of MrBeast comes from Dogpack404, who leverages his time working at MrBeast to give himself credibility. If he works for MrBeast, he must know these claims are true, but just can't speak up because of NDAs. The allegations has to do with James Warren.
So quick profile on James Warren. He's Jimmy's cousin and secret CEO, and I say secret because, you know, they're not very open about that fact.
This secret CEO has allegations ranging from yelling in the office to domestic abuse, animal abuse, fraud.
From what I've heard...
And again, privately, I've heard this guy's a huge piece of shit. My source for that is also Keemstar.
Of James Warren's character, how he's...
But nobody can peg him for any individual thing. They just heard he sucks, which is obviously not good enough to run any of this stuff off of.
Hit ex-girlfriends, not let them leave the house, beat his dog... defrauded people in his own ways. I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who...
We've covered this 1,000 times. There's like 3 separate videos with similar titles where we delve even further into this with different testimony from his friends and stuff that he said and the conversation he had with me privately. This is unforgivable. This is credibility destroying. This is rank amateur trying to play with big dogs. Like this is somebody who is not supposed to be like in this position, inserting himself into a spot where he's caring for like tons of anonymous victims, tying his own credibility when he has no idea what he's doing in with those anonymous victims that worked for MrBeast, and ultimately fucking over everyone he's trying to help when you make a mistake like this that is so easily telegraphed. But yeah, obviously everyone knows my position on this by now.
There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases.
I'm sorry, but what? He's got an anonymous text message saying James Warren is a psychopath abuser and found a court case with a guy named James Warren, but he's not sure if it's even the same guy.
It turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren.
Well, then maybe you should figure that out before posting it online. He says he's been using a YouTuber named Surprise Witness to verify these claims.
And that woman is completely fucking crazy. She's ballistic. Like that is a crazy woman, dude. But it's like it's this team of people that have been created are all like the Expendables, literally. Only they're not as cool.
I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that Surprise Witness on YouTube. She's been super helpful in like behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general. She's super nice, super smart.
But even she says it's not the same guy.
I did look into this and I went into it thinking he had done that. Okay. I went into it thinking he did it and I'm just going to have to find the paperwork. But suffice it to say that I do not think that the case number that is associated with this picture right here, and I told Dawson this, and that's why he said this in the video, I do not think that this particular case is the same James Warren for many reasons.
So she told Dogpack that this wasn't the same James Warren, and he still put it in the video. Why? Well, because he got an anonymous text message. That's the level of research that goes into his videos. When asked why he would go forward with unverified allegations, he said that it would take 2 weeks to verify them, and that was just too long, I guess. Just too long to wait for these life-ruining allegations.
We found the exact James Warren, and I had people run a background check on him. It's just that there's 6 court cases, which could be...
This is the Oompaville interview, correct?
Traffic violations, could be DV related, but it doesn't say on the public registry what it is. So you have to submit a freedom of information request.
Again, all it took was time. He just decided not to wait.
Which then takes like 2 weeks. So that's the real reason.
Oompaville isn't the least bit critical.
I just showed like more...
Yeah, because Oompaville doesn't give a flying fuck about this story and literally took it because it's like a current trending topic.
Corroborating testimony. I mean, it is testimony. I feel like the disclaimers were were pretty clear and like they were genuine, like it is allegedly.
Also, when you can, look at the James Warren domestic violence case against his ex-girlfriend. He apparently abused her for months before she filed charges. This person is alleging that there is a domestic violence case against James Warren. It's now up to you to verify those claims. He doesn't. Bro, you haven't even found the charges. Dogpack again confirms that he didn't want to wait for the Freedom of Information request. He just goes forward with it.
You have to submit a Freedom of Information request, which then takes like 2 weeks. So that's the real reason.
So Dogpack couldn't wait 2 weeks before blasting this guy with allegations. But remember, he's an anonymous employee. He probably knows something that we don't. Well, he worked there like a month, so no, not at all. Dogpack would later go on Twitter admitting he was wrong about the whole thing. Who could have seen that coming? If only you waited a little bit longer. I still have some Freedom of Information requests out, but an alleged current MrBeast employee reached out to give me their side of the story. So you still haven't confirmed if they work there? That's alleged too? Everything with this guy is alleged. Oh, I heard this from someone.
I heard he got in trouble. I heard. That's what I heard too.
He continued.
He took that from the fucking stream. That's funny.
I think this person is mistaken with a lot of details, but I now believe that James Warren domestic...
I think, by the way, the person who edited that for me was Bernie, by the way. Bernie is the guy who made the tipster lolly video, too. He sends me some funny edits sometimes. He lets me play them on stream. Bernie wrote the Pro Jared video that brought Pro Jared back. Very good commentary, like writer and content creator.
Violence case that circulated in the office was most likely the wrong James Warren. Of course, none of my sources knew that, and Dogpack is not...
And that's like big for two reasons. Obviously, we've already talked about this. I'm gonna just repeat it again. But the main thing here is he had multiple like sources reporting that this was the case, telling him that like, this is like the fucking water fountain type conversation at the MrBeast headquarters and shit. People are talking about this, and it's just completely untrue. So now all these witness testimonies that quote unquote are credible come into question, because how do we know all the other shit isn't just something they got wrong too? How many sources did he have on James Warren? Apparently a lot of them.
About how many anonymous sources there are or where we're getting the information.
So like you then start to doubt the anonymous victims because this fucking idiot couldn't just run a Freedom of Information request before he posted the video. It is entirely avoidable. There is no fucking reason to risk something like this to damage the credibility of your anonymous fucking witnesses.
Is it these same people? In the text messages, the employee says, oops, sorry, alleged employee. People know about this, but as far as I know, it's not true. One day we did a Google search in the office to check, but nothing. The originator of the rumors...
What has Dogpack done since then? I put out our conversation. He argued with me in DMs, admitted his credibility was eviscerated, and told me that he was going to be like sending people to like guys who are making documentaries and pushing people in different directions because he doesn't really know if he can kind of weather the storm or something. I don't remember. Essentially, he said he's going to take a step back, which apparently I've heard he's making a fourth video. So maybe he's decided against that. But this fourth video, from my understanding, is why Jimmy hasn't responded. When he said he was going to respond initially, he said it would be after the last Dogpack video, not after the third one. And then this guy came out and he's like, well, this isn't the real third one. This is like 2.5. So now Jimmy's probably, and again, I don't have confirmation on this, but I'm using my best inference here, probably isn't responding the way he said he was going to respond because Dogpack is teasing another video and he's not going to respond until everything's out there.
It was Jimmy's ex-girlfriend, Maddie Spitell. She's a wine drunk and always wanted to gossip on.
And that whole video was talking about Maddie Spitell, and the proof that he puts out to defend his new argument is the person bashing Maddie Spitell. So it's just like, it's a double cell phone. It's, hey, I fucked this whole thing up when Nick told me it was going to blow up in my face, and it blew up in my face. When all my friends told me it was going to blow up in my face, and it blew up in my face. And you had a whole section defending fucking Maddie Spitell in the video. And to get yourself out of this shit, you have to, like, put somebody burning Maddie Spitell on your fucking Twitter. Like, what a fucking L, dude. Why? Like, what is the point here?
She told me a lot, but everyone has to be nice to her because she was dating Jimmy. If you can't tell by now, MrBeast is filled with gossip rumors and toxic crap. The employee continues by saying Dogpack's anonymous source...
Dude, well, your source saying that MrBeast is filled with rumors and toxic crap does not bode well for the guy who every source he has is anonymous testimony. You realize how this digs you in a deeper hole, right?
Was there when we Googled James Warren's case, but that domestic case was another James Warren. Jokes were made, but it wasn't him. Dogpack excuses this easily avoidable mistake by saying, I tried multiple times to get in touch with the person who allegedly found the charges before making my video, and I did not get a response. I should have waited for my freedom of information request. However, I was clear in my video that they were just allegations of charges. No, you actually made very clear that they need to fire James Warren right now.
Fire James Warren and Locoya Hill. Fire them. Don't just move them around. Or I'm going to start dropping nukes.
Just because you say the word alleged before making
Or I'm going to start dropping nukes. You must fire your fucking guy right now, or I, sir, will be dropping nukes.
Ruining accusations doesn't mean it's an okay thing to do.
Why is this a bad video? I'm not really sure. So far, I've disagreed with exactly 1 point, and we're 13 and a half minutes in, so I was expecting to disagree with a lot more.
Just prevents you from getting sued for defamation. He continues to justify what he did by saying,
and the point I disagreed with was super minor.
I'm not a professional journalist or investigator. My goal is to bring credible allegations to light. You don't have to be a professional journalist to know that this was reckless. This would be completely unacceptable for any commentary channel to do. So what does Dogpack do with his nearly 3 million view video calling a guy a dog beating, domestic partner abusing fraud? He keeps it up. The pinned comment states, I'm very confident everything in this video will age well. Only then, if you click read more, he gives the update that he's most likely wrong about James Warren. This was Dogpack's biggest mistake, but there's other things that come off as incredibly sloppy. Dogpack finds out that James Warren was a partner for a company that was committing fraud.
James Warren is the former CEO.
Yep, I agree with all this stuff. This is my biggest problems with Dogpack in particular. This is what we fought about in DMs.
Of acquisitions of a real estate investment firm, which is one of the businesses listed in this indictment of his former business partner, Joshua Hutchins, who was sentenced.
And we listened to a whole story, a whole crybaby story about how some guy named Joshua Hutchins went to jail for fucking with a woman with Alzheimer's or something, and that James Warren was named in the lawsuit, so he must be involved. And the reason why he must be involved is because he beats his fucking girlfriend and abuses his dog, and he's just the kind of guy that would scam a woman who's sick or something, or whose mother was sick or something. I don't know. It's a total fucking garbage argument, total waste of time, total boring, useless part of a video that otherwise had some pretty damning stuff in the middle section.
10 years in prison. In fact, it's actually mentioned in the court transcripts of this case. She testifies, I came to know Mr. Hutchins through a very reputable and successful real estate attorney who highly recommended Mr. Hutchins and who eventually left his agency.
There's still nothing about the dog abuse allegations? Well, he's obviously heard a credible story from some guy who typed it to him and said he worked there.
To become the chief operating officer of Mr. Hutchins' investment firm.
Which was James Warren.
And she testifies, my trust was and has been severely violated. This is the equivalent of financial. Many of us entrusted Mr. Hutchins, who we've come to know to be fraudulent.
Now, this indictment is against Mr. Hutchins, not James Warren, because there isn't enough evidence that James knew. Yet Dogpack still incriminates him, even though the courts don't.
And I told him I could not take the risk. He and James Warren, the then realtor, stated, oh, real estate. She goes on to describe how they presented it as a safe investment opportunity for her.
Yeah, everyone agrees on this. Yeah, this part
is taking place in Willard.
Look at this guy. Now, he literally goes, like, by the way, this went to court. Okay, he was not a co-defendant in the case, James Warren. Like, the guy did time. This was like, there was a jury involved, right? Like, this is a fucking real court case. This isn't some YouTube discussion, right? What the fuck is this?
Definitively that James Warren was aware of the fraud that was taking place and willingly complicit in helping Mr. Hutchins defraud old ladies.
A person? Who is Bunty King? Nicholas DeOrio?
No.
Greetings, Nick. Your thoughts on the coward and monster Nicholas de Chips Ahoy and his many misdeeds? That guy is a fraud.
But from what I've heard of James Warren's character, how he's hit ex-girlfriends, not let them leave the house, beat his dog.
None of that is confirmed in any way.
I personally believe that when he was working with Mr. Hutchins, he was in similar company. I think the COO of acquisitions would know and be sort of responsible for properties not being properly acquired through the court system.
But why didn't the prosecution go after him too? Bro, you have
Thank you, 100%. Agree. This is so fucking stupid, dude. This whole argument is so fucking dumb. And he also bases it partially off of his bad research on the James Warren fucking domestic violence shit, too.
Do you think the prosecution was just being nice to James? This guy sees an accusation that can be made, and he just makes it. Another great example is Locoya Hill.
In late 2021, he was allegedly fired for sexually assaulting his assistant. Now, I put fired in quotation marks because he was actually quietly moved to the dubbing company, which was Unilingo at the time.
The evidence that Locoya got fired for this is more anonymous text messages. Locoya is gay, not that it really matters for this story.
He was actually brought back to MrBeast in 2023 after sexually assaulting his assistant prior, and promoted to chief financial officer, which is how
the Kermit the Frog voice. I didn't even realize that. You just ruined this for me. Jesus.
He was introduced to him. Testimony from former MrBeast employees talking about Locoya Hill.
The testimony. I heard Locoya acted inappropriately with redacted, booking hotel rooms with one bed.
Okay, now we're gonna go through how he ran like 15 different stories that all don't even correlate together, but they all have the same basic thread of like someone got at least sexually harassed.
Showing off sex toys. They say he was fired for this and moved to the dubbing company. Employee 2 corroborates that Locoya sexually harassed someone, was moved to another company and brought back. Employee number 3 agrees. This allegation has 3 different employees all corroborating the same story, meaning that there's
again, you're gonna hear a lot of commonalities on this coverage to mine. Because Willie, like, the day before he uploaded it, or like a week before he uploaded it, was like in my comment section being like, this is the greatest video of all time. So like, I know he definitely saw it.
Probably some legitimacy to it. But then you get
and he told me that the coverage was good, so I imagine he agreed with most of it.
Employee number 4. Locoya sexually assaulted multiple people, apparently roofied multiple people.
If this was me, I'm cutting to the clip from Oompaville, where he starts talking about how it's bullshit.
As well. So this went from sexual harassment to a full-on rape accusation. Yep. If nobody else is claiming that he roofied people, your only source isn't even confident, then you probably shouldn't go forward with it until you get more confirmation. Dogpack would admit in a recent interview that he had a statement saying the relationship with Locoya and his assistant was consensual, and that the internal report agreed with it. Other employees confirmed the internal report happened.
Started messaging me about the Locoya stuff, saying that it was consensual. And what I found out from other people is that when they did the internal investigation...
Why are there so many YouTube pedos? Because the children are the highest demographic. That's probably the answer.
At MrBeast, they determined it was consensual.
So this guy could be platforming 2 false allegations.
I gave like a nuclear take the other day that like the people that you need to look out for are people who act like they do it for the love of the game, but they're clearly making content like directly for children. And not just like, oh, they're covering YouTube drama, which all kids must like. I'm talking about people who like do MrBeast style content, but they don't give a fuck about money. Those are people I'm concerned about. Like when you're a fucking lion maker selling children's underwear, there's a reason why the Minecraft community has such like a high level of pedophiles.
Because he's not properly venting. Dogpack going about it this way diminishes...
okay, never mind. That was a song. My bad.
Speculation of what should be insane news. The MrBeast company moved and hired back a sexual harasser. Dogpack would try and justify his unsubstantiated...
Hey, thanks for the shout out, Willie.
...rape claims to Nicholas DeOrio by posting unsubstantiated pedo claims, saying, if the only claims was roofies, I would have not included it. He then links a screenshot of an anonymous source claiming they have paid money to keep kids he abused silent. Most were underage. Isn't that how all kids work? They have to be underage? I don't even get it. Nick asks, now he raped kids? LMAO. Dogpack replies, I downplayed the whole Locoya thing in my video, if anything. I make it seem like there's only one victim. Nick has to spell it out for him. Dude, that's a completely new allegation. And Dogpack admits, yeah, I don't believe it, so I didn't post it. So then why are you posting it in Nick's DMs?
Yeah, like why would you give some random guy a screenshot that you don't even agree with to justify other claims that you got? Like what, why on earth would you even fucking send that to me? It makes no sense at all whatsoever. He wanted to send me more and I cut content by telling him not to because I knew this was probably going to get leaked by that point in the conversation.
Justify a claim saying, I know he has multiple victims, I don't know about rape. Then why is it in your video? And just now Dogpack did an interview where he claims that he talked to the victim and that they're trying to get hush money.
I've spoken to the victim, but the victim was trying to get hush money, and which I supported.
Yeah, he says that like multiple people got hush money from MrBeast over his video. Yeah, great, sick.
Fully. MrBeast, I guess, was for him to say it was consensual, and I have a recorded phone call with him where he's talking about that. I mean, you'd have to like distort his voice and everything to use that.
So, you were right. They are gonna come to that. They're gonna reach out to me.
Why does this guy sound like the fucking Mandarin? Not the Mandarin. What does he sound like? He sounds like when the Reverse Flash hid his voice in season 1 of The Flash. My goals are beyond your understanding. I think I already made that joke.
And said they want me to say that it was consensual.
The victim's friend has now come forward and corroborates
I'm coming for you, Barry. Run.
That they were drugged and raped.
The interaction with Locoya was non-consensual. It's hard to consent when the person was being drugged without their knowledge.
So then why wasn't this information in Dogpack's original claims? Well, because he didn't have the information yet. He admits he just got lucky.
I posted that video with the roofie allegation. I was like,
Yeah, mama maxing. I posted this to get more information that I ultimately used to get more information that I ultimately used to get all the information that you actually wanted.
I'm not so sure. I went on Oopaville's channel. And
like, I like YouTubers and I don't like journalists. That's my position. When you act like this and you do this bullshit, like, you are the justification for why journalists should be in charge of some of this stuff. Like, you're like the boon to my arguments. Like, if you suck this bad, you make journalists look better, actually, unironically.
I was like, I wasn't sure about that one. And then people had reached out to me, and it was actually consistent with certain victims' stories, I guess, from people close to the victim.
So he's slinging everything he gets at the wall and hoping it leads to more information. It's reckless because this is the internet. These names will be tainted forever whether they're proven innocent or guilty. But it is kind of working. I just think you probably could have gotten this testimony without overstepping your knowledge and going forward with allegations that weren't backed by anyone else. I'm gonna let Nick remind everybody just how little tangible evidence Dogpack had.
You know what's really fucked about this? Is so much of this stuff is based off of office testimony. And now this guy has to confront the harsh reality that the water break conversations at MrBeast aren't always accurate information, even if a lot of sources are coming to tell you the same thing. The way he talks about Locoya Hill is the same way he talked about James Warren. Well, a ton of employees corroborated the fact that James Warren was charged.
There's allegedly domestic violence charges.
I mean, I'd have to agree with that statement as well.
Were filed against him.
Ooh.
It's bad because if you remember, James Warren was never actually charged. In a leaked email at MrBeast written by Jimmy, leaked, it was done on purpose. On August 7th, due to the Chris Tyson drama, MrBeast hired a law firm to do an investigation on company culture and allegations of inappropriate behavior. This led to several people being replaced, including Locoya, who was their COO. So it seems like there was some truth behind these allegations. Dogpack's biggest bombshell is that Locoya may still be working for MrBeast. They just moved him to the dubbing department.
So they did what I wanted and let him go, right? Well, just on a whim, I decided to look into the Creator Global LinkedIn, and it had gone private. I reached out to one of my connections close to MrBeast, and I said, hey, can you look into this account for me? And this is what they saw. Locoya Hill, listed as the current president at Creator Global.
This absolutely needs an explanation from Jimmy. So when it comes to the MrBeast...
Sure. Okay, I agree with everything so far. We're halfway through the video. There's one point that I didn't agree with. It was the mask claim about fucking... what's his name?
Predator ring, these are the verdicts.
About Locoya Hill. Yeah, no. What the fuck is his name? I completely forgot already. About the fucking pedo that worked there. The registered sex offender, rather. Delaware. Yes, the Delaware mask claim.
Chris Tyson, who made inappropriate jokes and comments with minors, who posted and lolly to minors, actively supported a guy who drew lolly of real minors, and actively hung lolly art on his wall, which Jimmy knew about for years. The evidence is the messages, the mods, and the videos. Totally guilty. We have Delaware, who essayed a 1 to 11-year-old when they were 16. He was convicted for this, and MrBeast knew but didn't care. The evidence is from 2 nameable high-profile MrBeast employees, and a public record. Totally guilty. And then we have Locoya Hill, who probably didn't touch kids, but does have first-hand allegations of drugging and rape from the victim. And according to several anonymous employees, he at the least sexually harassed his assistant and was moved around the company, but never...
If you say at least sexually harassed, that seems like a pretty credible allegation based off the amount of testimony. But again, I don't like guilty based off of just testimony before he even responds, but again, I can let it pass because it's pretty bad.
Officially fired. The victim also claims that hush...
I wouldn't stop the video to say Willie's posted garbage just because he said that.
Money is on the table.
They're not gonna come to that. They're gonna reach out to me and say they want me to say that it was consensual.
He still right now might be working for a MrBeast owned company. The evidence is Dogpack's anonymous employees and LinkedIn. These are somewhat credible, but are still very much...
Like, these are all of my major arguments towards MrBeast. Like, these are the most important talking points, and he hasn't really strayed away from anything like that yet.
Allegations and could still be proven wrong with a response from Jimmy. We'll have to wait and see, but something definitely seems shady. Then there's James Warren, who's been accused of domestic abuse, beating his dog, and fraud. But none of these accusations are coming from primary sources. They're all coming from Dogpack's anonymous sources who have heard of things. In fact, the company rumor of him having domestic charges, when fact-checked, wasn't even the same James Warren. There's also no evidence that James Warren knew of the fraud his former business partner committed. He was not charged. These allegations hurt Dogpack's credibility and should not have been made.
And that's literally Dogpack's words, not Willie's. Dogpack literally agrees this hurt his credibility.
These three alone are really bad and absolutely shows a pattern of behavior with Jimmy. Jimmy is looking the other way and protecting his friends while knowing these people are a liability to his audience and the company. It's so much worse than I ever thought it would be. But Dogpack is 1 for 2, maybe 3 with his allegations, and has done nothing to fix his 3 million view video. You leaving this up and hiding behind, well, I said allegedly, so who cares? It discredits your own anonymous sources as well as actual credible allegations that they've made. Since they're anonymous, they're relying on your
Aiden just leaked the call. Sick. All right, we'll do that after.
More credibility to get their story out. Don't let them down.
Oh my God, Dogpack lost all credibility. This allegation was fully debunked. And it's like,
wait, is it leaked to me or is it leaked to everybody? Can I do it tomorrow? Oh, I can't do it tomorrow. Can I do it Thursday or are you leaking it fully? If you leaked it to me, I can just not do it tonight.
well, what's your source for being debunked? Is it my tweet?
He's so cocky here, but meanwhile he's panicking in DMs.
Although public perception has justifiably turned on me, that video accomplished a lot. Yeah, look, this is literally fucking Dogpack in DMs. That's so funny, dude. As far as getting more people to come out. All right, I'll do it tonight, but I'm going to complete this segment first. I refer everyone to the documentary crew now, since my credibility has obviously tanked, and I will continue to do so when MrBeast responds.
Bro, just fix the video.
If you're here for just that stuff and you came from Twitter or something, you'll probably be waiting about an hour. Probably maybe an hour and a half.
Edit it and make a retraction. It's so easy.
Oh my God, Dogpack lost all credibility. This allegation was fully debunked. And it's
what did Dog think about this? Oh wait, I lost all my credibilities. Oh, Jesus. So I don't know. We're halfway through the video now. Literally nothing of value.
MrBeast is currently being...
I don't mind, when I say nothing of value, that's not an insult to Willie, but like no criticism of value to look at. Okay. Okay, you're... Okay, it's just Aiden making fart sounds. He didn't actually send it.
Student a class
so never mind, chat.
By 5 contestants from his Amazon show Beast Games. But these are far from...
I'm also going to ban him from chat. See ya. Put user in timeout 24 hours. Bye.
The only people that have worked for MrBeast and had issues. There's an entire catalog of people who worked for him, complained online, and got bullied into taking their videos down. Now, some of these people may be lying, but others had valid complaints that I think were ignored. Jake Weddle has claimed mental and physical damage while participating in a MrBeast challenge.
There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary. People don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me. They weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? And they said no, because it would f up the time lapse shot. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there.
Jake only lasted 11 days, which is not enough time for a proper video, but is also a very long time without proper sleep.
Nuclear take, I do not think Jimmy should have paid that guy. Not even a little bit. He should not have been paid for the rest of the work that he did, because he literally did not survive the challenge. That's what it's called. It's a challenge. And he didn't survive it, so he probably shouldn't have been paid.
This time they had him run a marathon for a challenge.
So I look at it run. I don't run, you know? Let alone a marathon, let alone that training for it.
I think the biggest mistake MrBeast has made so far, unironically, was paying Jake Weddle.
You try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
There was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know? You get up, and if I refuse, it's just, well, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames, because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. I'm running until 3 a.m.
I got off the treadmill.
Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid.
So this guy's
lactic acid. This is the most California shit I've ever heard.
Sleep deprived, has the worst blisters of his life, and wants to go home. So the production guilt trips him into staying. His mom even backs up his story.
This is a grown ass man. We're kind of taking his agency away. Wait, his mom backed up his story? Really? Wait, how often do mothers like rarely back up their son in situations like this? Is that like a huge accomplishment? Dude, I can fucking rob a bank and my mom would say I was home if I wasn't.
Brutal. And you called me from there, and I mean, you did not.
You're telling me like the person who birthed him agreed with his take? Jesus.
Sound like yourself, and you were talking about how your feet were bloody and blistered and you could barely walk.
Shit.
You were so psychologically struggling.
And that's true, but it's also not uncommon for reality TV show producers to lean on contestants to stay in during challenges they don't want to. It makes sense, there's a lot of money on the line. I think Jake is actually providing a good PSA for people who want to do these reality TV show challenges. If you want to leave, you should never feel guilty. It's the fault of the production for not being able to keep you. They do casting calls, make the challenges, and can change the rules whenever they want to make sure they have a usable product. There's a lot that can go wrong when you're doing first-time challenges like this, and if something does, MrBeast needs to face the consequences. But you got a lot of people focusing on the fact that Jake Weddle is a bit of a goober. Yes, he blew the $110,000 MrBeast gave him for lasting the 11 days in the challenge.
On a comedy career.
And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up.
Yes, Jake Weddle had a meltdown on Instagram and looked stupid.
Yourself.
No, he looked like insane. He didn't look stupid. He looked genuinely unhinged.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go up to a rape victim and tell them it's their fault next.
Okay.
Wait, Reddit would love this video. Why are they mad?
Oh, now this guy's comparing his story to somebody got raped?
Yes, Jake is being silly for wanting the full $300,000 even though he lasted only 11 days. I was kind of shocked for they didn't pay me for the full 25 to 30 days. Okay. To make things up, Jimmy offered Jake Weddle the extra $190,000 and Jake said no, he only took 50.
He said, hey, I wanted to reach out and say I didn't mean.
He only took 50 is such a funny answer because this is like all these people. And again, part of this is not Jake's fault entirely, but like all these people, the witness person, certainly Dogpack, they're like angling this as if we're all paid help from Jimmy or whatever. Even if it's a joke, that's what their audience is taking it as. Like, oh, look, a lot of paid help from Jimmy, a lot of paid help from Jimmy. Only 50K being the only guy I know who's literally paid by Jimmy during this entire fucking fiasco is really funny. That is a big point, unfortunately, because it's the same tactic they're using to discredit us, and their own guy took the payout.
To cause you mental stress with that video, and I apologize. Clearly, it had an effect on you. You mentioned you like to be paid out the rest of the prize money, the other $190,000. I just couldn't take it. Because
what a virtuous guy.
Still a mechanism of the game. It's still like the rest of the prize money, and that's not what it was about.
I mean, that's literally what you were complaining about in the text messages.
But the other consistent point I was making was when you have no money, it's not a choice, is it? I need that money.
Yes, Jake is stupid for
Thanks, DSP.
acting like he can't say
You playing a lot of WWE Legends? Is that why you really need that money, man? I need that money. I need that money.
no because he's broke. Jake, you need to stop acting like being a YouTube contestant is a viable career path.
You know,
Thank you. Oh boy, that's a fucking zinger. True.
maybe if I'm nice publicly, I'll have a chance to, come back and
No, you should get a job, idiot.
Thing for money, whether that's work or a game, whatever. And that's kind of a weird system to have.
It's not meant to be your job.
But does any of that make it okay for MrBeast staff
I'm a full-time MrBeast contestant.
to guilt Jake with the failed production?
It's literally the only thing dumber than being a full-time drama YouTuber in this community.
To hear that he can't sleep and won't turn off the lights? No, at the end of the day, it's Jimmy.
What do? I smell the disgusting ice cream machine for a living. Wow. That's all the kids dream of that.
His fault. He's getting sued by 5 of the contestants for the same sort of thing. Negligent infliction of emotional distress, sexual harassment is also in here, and although it is unclear what this means and doesn't specify if it was staff or other—
What did unemployed people do before MrBeast? Give blowjobs for 35 cents.
Contestants doing the sexual harassment, it's not good. Now will MrBeast lose this lawsuit? I don't know. Lawyers talk as if it depends on if contestants legally count as employees under California jurisdiction.
These people were competing for $5 million. Are they contestants or are they employees?
You can call them whatever you want to, but if they meet the definition of an employee, it doesn't matter what you title them. Our argument is that they are employees under California law.
The hope, dream, and expectation.
I know nothing about law, but I do know that they're probably best. Like, if there is a law that helps them, it's probably going to be in California. If I had to guess. That sounds like some California ass shit, doesn't it? Like, if there's any way that this is going to go well, it's probably because it's California. If not, maybe I'm just completely off on that.
That you might get a payment is not the same as being an employee. Certainly, I think there's a real legal battle here that the plaintiffs will have to convince a judge that this group who signed on to be part of a show should be considered as employees, not contestants.
If not, MrBeast might not be legally liable, but does it make the conditions on set okay? Of course not. But we don't even know what the claims are. It could be someone drawing a dick on a whiteboard. We'll just have to wait and see how the story develops, but looking at Jimmy's past history with employees, I could see it. He literally paid for contestants' therapy after the Beast games. Quote, "It was that bad." There's also been employees from years ago that have made claims about MrBeast. One employee claims that MrBeast shows up, records his part, and then leaves. It's not even that damning of an accusation.
When you make a YouTube video for your channel, you should, we'll go film your video without you. That's cool, yeah.
MrBeast.
Who gives a fuck, dude? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, these people are just such pathetic losers. It's so hard to take like 80% of this serious.
Then goes on drama alert, calls the guy.
Wow, dude. Dude, you know that Illuminati didn't write, edit, fucking create the thumbnail for, do the metadata for any of her videos? She was a fucking voice actress on her own channel because she was too stupid to sustain it. Like, there are so many YouTubers who operate like that that you don't even know.
And brags that he paid for stuff. Not really relevant, Jimmy.
Paid for his plane ticket, his Uber, his hotel for a week, his Uber, and his plane ticket, which he made a 25-minute quote-unquote exposing video on me, but doesn't mention that I spent thousands of dollars getting him here, paid him $750 for like 5 days worth of work, which is really good pay. He has all these issues, quote-unquote, but he doesn't say any of them to me while he's here. He doesn't talk to me while he's here. He just bundles it all up so he can make this 25-minute video and blow everything out of proportion when he gets home. I have Crohn's disease. Most of you don't know what it is. It was really acting up. So I said, hey, you guys go film the rest of the video. I want to go nap. I got to take it easy. Now he's making an exposed video like, oh, MrBeast doesn't film his own videos. Like, what are you going on about, man?
His employee got ratioed so hard they deleted the video. But then I see Scumbag Dad recount his time working for MrBeast, and it sounds pretty dead on.
I mean, I was supposed to be on a MrBeast collab. We were going to do the entire skit without him there. Like, spend one day planning and rehearsing and performing the entire skit without him there. And then the next day, he shows up for 10 minutes just like as a body, like saying the words, and then he leaves to do another project. Like, that's really impersonal. You know, the entire thing is sort of morphed around you, and he's probably like checking a couple boxes. But then when it comes time to actually shoot, he shows up just like an actor. He's told what to say. Here we have da-da-da-da-da. And then they're like, all right, Beast, get out of here. You got like 5 more of these to do.
Here's another one. An intern claims he was flown out to MrBeast headquarters. He's got proof of him there. He also has proof that he pitched an obstacle course in the sky.
Mario style. Floating obstacle course. Instead of using floating blocks, which is impossible, we will use floating rack hoisted by 4 cranes. Floating rack hoisted 200 feet in the air, start from one platform to another to advance. Safety harness will be eliminated due to the net underneath the platform.
He has drawings on the whiteboard from his pitch. He says this gets approved and they start budgeting.
So I pitched this idea and they absolutely loved it. The budget was originally $1.7 million. That intro alone cost $1.7 million. They've set a date, they set a location, and now they have a new renewed budget.
To be honest, I'm really not familiar with this allegation.
Everything's great. I'm so happy.
But at the end of the day, they don't hire him and they send him home.
Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right. And the rest are about receipts.
They never hit him back. And 4 months later, what video comes out on MrBeast?
I have built the most deadly obstacle course in the world.
It was a floating Mario course with swinging hammers. It's 200 feet in the air.
200 feet to the ground.
Held up by cranes, and they use a net instead of a harness.
Also, take your harness off. No. If for whatever reason he fails this obstacle course,
he free falls 200 feet into a net.
MrBeast's defense that he gave to Dromler wasn't that this guy lied about his pitch, it's that MrBeast had cartoon thumbnails as concepts in 2023, since Fall Guys came out. When you think about it for more than a second, this doesn't make any sense. This guy being flown out, pitching his idea, and it coming together to a T is far more compelling evidence than this cartoon AI artwork.
So, did he say Mario? Was Mario name dropped?
They've said
from his pit.
A loading rack hoisted 200
flown out to MrBeast headquarters. He's got proof of him there. He also has proof that he pitched an obstacle course in the sky.
Mario style.
Okay.
Instead of using floating blocks, which is impossible, we will use floating rack hoisted by 4 cranes. Floating rack hoisted 200 feet in the air, start from one platform to another to advance. Safety harness will be eliminated due to the net underneath the platform.
He has drawings on the whiteboard from his pitch. He says this gets approved and they start budgeting.
So I pitched this idea and they absolutely loved it. The budget was originally 1.7 million. That intro alone cost 1.7 million dollars. They've set a date, they set a location, and now they have a new renewed budget for this video, and everything's great. I'm so happy.
But at the end of the day, they don't hire him and they send him home.
Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right.
This kind of seems like a dick move. I'm not gonna lie. It does kind of seem like a dick move. Like, what are the pictures? It's
concepts in 2023 since Fall Guys came out. When you think about it for more than a second, this doesn't make any sense. This guy being flown out, pitching his idea, and it coming together to a T is far more compelling evidence.
Like, it's not an original idea for sure, but like, you can't deny the fact that it's word for word exactly what it is. Like, it's very possible.
Than this cartoon AI artwork. Ty got so much.
No, I put this in the list of things that Jimmy should respond to.
Had to turn off the comments, even though he's probably right. But then the question is, does Jimmy need to hire someone because he made a good pitch for a video? No.
Well, was he brought out to make the pitch and they stole the idea? Is that like how we're being described? Because I don't think we're getting the full story.
Oh, but you should probably compensate him. He slandered him instead.
Shut the fuck up.
Wait, how did he slander him instead? Did I miss that?
Nobody even wants you here.
Here's a list of things.
Here, let's see. It didn't even come out to a T. They took the monkey bars and that's it. Well, he said Mario style. It had like the hammers and it was the exact number of feet in the sky. I don't know. He legit asked for 1.7 million GoFundMe. That's why he turned the comments off. Oh, this is the fucking idiot who made the GoFundMe asking for $1 million. God, these people are such losers, dude. Holy shit. Wait, is that I didn't even realize that's that guy. I didn't watch that guy's video specifically because he asked for that much money. That's so funny. That's the only reason I don't know about any of this stuff. Is I literally would have never wasted my time watching his video if I knew. When Willie doesn't mention it, yeah, you kind of you have to mention it. That the guy's like, I mean, it just looks malicious, yeah, for the GoFundMe. Okay, that's viable. I can understand why people are mad at Willie about that. That is like a super important detail to not skip over.
Jimmy is guilty of, but how much?
I think his position is fair. Like, I think I still think Jimmy needs to respond to that because that is pretty fucking close to the original pitch that he has on paper. But like, that GoFundMe is completely retarded and out of pocket.
It matters is going to vary person to person. Jimmy did illegal lotteries a lot.
They're illegal lotteries where the...
This is not a patented idea. He has no room to sue. It's not about lawsuits. It's not about legality. I don't deal in legality. I'm not Nicholas DeOrio Legal Incorporated or Nicholas DeOrio fucking attorney at law. Okay, I'm just telling you morally, it's probably not a cool thing to do. And when you're getting shit on for all this other stuff and you're making payouts or whatever, you probably ought to compensate the guy at the time if you're planning on using his idea in some capacity. It's not $1.7 million, but I mean, they probably should have compensated him if the idea was ripped directly from his pitch and they ran it after they decided not to hire him. That's a dick move. Sorry.
The only way to win a prize is by making a purchase.
In 10 minutes, right? Because we got to give them time to do their card.
If that's the way that went. And again, I do think that Jimmy should provide some sort of response to this in some capacity.
We'll give 2 orders $500 each. 5 minutes, someone's getting $3,000 in their order. In 5 minutes, we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna put $1,000 in a random order.
If you are not the government, you cannot sell something that enters you into a lottery. There has to be some sort of no purchase necessary way to enter. Lawyers have explained this.
All 3 of these elements are present and the lottery is not regulated, it is likely illegal because lotteries in the United States are exclusively run by the government.
Now, I don't care about this because most YouTubers don't know it's illegal. This happens on YouTube all the time. Here's Captain Sparkles explaining it.
The way that I found out about illegal lotteries to begin with is because I accidentally did one. I did a charity live stream.
All right, so this has definitely pissed everybody off, I imagine.
Now, I don't care about this because most YouTubers don't know it's illegal. This happens on YouTube all the time. Here's Captain Sparkles explaining it.
So, I certainly wouldn't have worded it that way. I don't care about it because everyone does it. Sounds stupid. I would say I don't think this is as severe as the average person because I think it's incredibly easy to make this mistake if you don't know what you're doing. Jimmy should have known what he was doing. He should take accountability for it. But I don't think he was actively trying to scam anybody by doing this quote-unquote illegal lottery. I do not believe it was his intention, though he should not have done it, is probably how I would word that.
That I found out about illegal lotteries to begin with is because
Saying, I don't care about it, sounds like Tom saying, I don't care about cheating, and they're going to clip that 30-second thing and post it to Reddit, I imagine.
Accidentally did one. I did a charity live stream. And I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if the people who donate to the charity I'm raising money for could be eligible to win a prize in a giveaway? You can't actually do that. Does this mean that MrBeast conducted illegal lotteries within this live stream? Yes. Seems
like I don't think that Jimmy should go to fucking jail over that. That's ridiculous. Not that I think that's even on the table. But I mean, it's a fuck up. It certainly is.
Or like an oversight and not realizing
an oversight.
That you're not allowed to do it.
Jimmy stopped doing this years ago, probably because he was informed by his legal team to do so. So
that's another thing is like you're getting whiplash between allegations from when Jimmy obviously knows better, like when he should know better, when MrBeast goes corporate, and then you're mixing those in with allegations from when Jimmy's mom was the fucking person who was running the HR department, and this was like a real lock and tight fucking fraternity level event going on there. And you're constantly battling back and forth between like, is this Jimmy with 50 million subs or is this Jimmy on the way up? And there's definitely going to be a difference there. And there's obviously supposed to be more mistakes in the previous portion of that.
How mad you're going to be at him is going to depend if you think he was doing it illegally on purpose or not.
Just let you know, you're banned from being mentioned in Dark Viper's 200 viewer stream. Is he live to 200 people? What is that even? Jesus Christ, he's taking this hard. Why? Wait, what? What? Okay, cool, sick, nice. I appreciate it.
I seriously doubt it. What I do get the outrage for is the ridiculous requirements for his no purchase necessary Feastables sweepstakes.
The only place you'll find no purchase necessary is either on the Feastables.
The thing is, MrBeast probably didn't even see the recruiter stole it and used it for their idea. Yeah, Lumpy Willie, that's probably... Listen, I hate to tell you, that's probably going to be like a lot of these answers that you're going to hear is like, how could I know about this? I don't hire the people. I make the videos. How did I know about this? I don't manage that department. It's bad that it happened, but that's not what I do. And the problem is the company's called MrBeast, and I think a large portion of the audience isn't going to be satisfied with answers like that. And like, I don't think that that's going to be something that gets him out of it from the community people. But that's a reasonable thing. So like when you're saying like, well, somebody stole it, you know, it's like Destiny 2. You ever play the game Destiny 2? They've had two major controversies where they've stolen artwork. I think once was like a tweet or maybe it was a thing that they were selling on their store. And then recently they stole an idea for a Nerf gun from someone's ripped design of the Ace of Spades hand cannon. Now, is it Bungie's lead development team that's going out and ripping off this art? Or is it one employee who's cutting corners, who did something really fucked up, that made that artist feel like that their position, like made that artist feel ripped off by big major company Bungie? Well, it doesn't look like artist Terry something from fucking the department stole it. It looks like Luke Smith and Bungie and the game that they love playing to the point where they started making fan art for it, stole from them. And it does not feel good, you know? And that artist needs to be compensated for that drawing. It's a little different in this case, but like, yeah, absolutely. It's their artwork that's being used. And I don't even like artists, but that's the reality of the situation. They need to be compensated for that. That's bad practices to just steal artwork. But one employee's bad behavior could have done a lot of damage to a situation that I guarantee the Bungie high-ups, the Bungie community manager, most of the 99% of the employees of the company probably didn't know that. And if I had to lend a guess at the situation that I just found out about in this stream, that's probably what happened to that guy's pitch. But again, I'm not going to just say that on behalf of MrBeast. I do think that there's like a high percentage of these things, though, that are fuck-ups, and I don't know if they even crossed Jimmy's desk. And if they did, I doubt that they were given much thought. But again, YouTubers are held to a wildly different standard than television and corporations and stuff like that. And that's not an excuse, I guess, that people are going to be ready to accept.
Twitter account because it's a rule of the platform, and even still they try to push it. No perks.
Can we still throw it at Jimmy when he's literally not the CEO, like Linus? If there's a controversy, even though Linus is no longer the CEO, Linus is going to get all the shit for it. Because yes, he's the face of the company. They view YouTubers as YouTubers. They don't view them as companies. They don't view them as organizations. Because the whole YouTube broadcast yourself aesthetic that they want to withhold comes with a negative part of like, they're treating you like you're running these videos out of your fucking basement. And you're just fucking not.
Neck. And to enter for free, you have to
It has his name
in.
on it. Yeah, but Bungie has Bungie's name on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not Bungie's fault that one artist stole artwork. And I think that it's irrational to hold that against the company. Maybe you disagree, but like...
Can I say something to you, Nick?
It's happened twice
really
now.
like you.
And people say like, Bungie has a history of stealing artwork. It's like, no, they fucking don't. 2 employees who work at a company who could have did this at any other company stole fucking artwork and did something fucked up. The second employee might not even have been with Bungie. It might have been a design that was approved by Nerf. It literally might not even be a guy who worked for Bungie who did it, but you know who got shit for it? Fucking Bungie, because they have a history for stealing from artists or something. You know what I mean? It's stupid. It's fucking stupid, but I understand, I guess, partially why people get mad about it, because they're not thinking of it as like, they're not thinking of this as human beings. They're thinking of this as like the great big corporation has destroyed the small artist on Twitter. And that's just not how reality works. Will they have a bad vetting system? Dude, I'm sorry. Like, that's just fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Have you ever plagiarized something at school? Have you ever felt like you needed to meet a deadline in college or in high school and you just went online and plagiarized something? Like... I mean, be honest. Have you ever done something wrong? Would you think that that should be a reflection on your fucking professor because you plagiarized it? No, never. I don't know. Dude, employees cut corners all the time. That's not like, what's the vetting process? They could have never Dude, you could never plagiarize something for like fucking 8, 9, 10, 12 years, and then like in the middle of your fucking senior year in college, plagiarize for the first time. Does that college have a bad vetting process for admitting you? How the fuck can you... Dude, this is the YouTube community that tells everybody you're in control of your audience. You're not in control of your audience, right? Like, all of you guys believe that, right? You're not in control of... I'm not in control of DE45. I'm not in control of Teacup. I don't control them. I don't know what's going on in their mind. I can't stop them from doing any such thing. I'm not telling anybody to go fucking raid anybody, but if they do it, it's not something that I'm specifically asking them to do. In fact, I disavow it. There's nothing I can do. But Bungie is responsible for every single person who puts any art on their fucking video game. They're responsible for the actions of every single person that does it. Sure, they're going to make things right. But, like, are you going to blame company climate for why that occurred? I guess people are, but it's frustrating. It's that one employee. That idiot decided to fucking plagiarize. That idiot decided to steal fucking artwork. And I personally don't hold that against Bungie as a company, because you can't control the employee that's going to decide to cut corners and be a lazy, good-for-nothing piece of shit, especially if they had a good track record and they worked there with no issues for the last 20 years. It's blind corporate hate, yeah.
Right, 3-inch by 5-inch, hand-addressed, written index cards.
Normally, you either mail one letter to a P.O. box or fill out an...
Like, how do you vet something that somebody's never done before until the moment they do it?
Online survey and give your email, not mail 10 individual...
If this guy was like a serial plagiarizer or like a serial art fucking stealer, he should be fired from his job. In fact, he probably was, if I had to guess. In H-Bomber's video, the news network hired someone who plagiarized articles. They put it on the journalist, not the company, or it's on the individual. Yeah, but when you're Bungie, it's not on the individual. Yes, if you plagiarize as a journalist, that's on you. That's not on... No one would say that's on Washington Post. Right? That no one would ever say that's on New York Post or whatever, or fucking Wall Street Journal. But in certain industries, it's entirely on, like, the company is viewed negatively for it.
Index cards. That sounds like a Dr. Doofenshmirtz evil plot. MrBeast is also guilty of faking signatures. It seems like every employee knows how to write Jimmy's.
So here's a clip of Tyler forging, or not, maybe not forging, using MrBeast's signature.
And look, it's probably not illegal because it technically falls under the company's signature, but it's still misleading your fans and is wrong. MrBeast also has some rigged aspects to his videos. Most of those can be contested, but there is one that is undeniable to me. Jimmy's friend and now employee Mac has appeared in a lot of MrBeast videos.
Mac. I don't know anything about this guy. Let's see.
He usually tries really hard and makes it far in these competitions. But in this one, I'll just show you.
To be honest, there's 100 people here. I'm not gonna win. What's the point?
Hey, everybody! This guy just said he wants to get out.
Step out.
Oh! Even though you got out first, I still have a prize for you. Just wait here. Congratulations, you just won a brand new car for being first out.
Oh, Andy stepped out perfectly and shot right where Jimmy is standing. It's so obviously rigged.
Close your fucking mouth. You're just really fucking dense. If you hate me, why you talk?
That's probably fair. I don't know. Do people have a problem with that? I don't know anything about this.
First, I still have a prize for you. Just wait here.
My question is that just for the camera? Did he get to keep that car? If this guy shows up in a lot of videos, goes out first, on camera perfectly.
Congratulations, you just won a brand new car for being first out.
Oh, Andy stepped out perfectly and shot right where Jimmy is.
Dude, who cares? I don't know.
Standing. It's so obviously rigged.
Close your fucking mouth. You're just really fucking dense. If you hate me, why you talking? You don't make no fucking sense.
People are pissed at MrBeast because he's done a lot wrong. Some of it is sneaky, some of it is illegal, and some of it is downright evil.
I've spoken to...
Oh, the video's only got an 89%. Willie sent it to me. I figured with the amount of hate that he said he was getting, it would be worse, but 89's fine.
To the victim, but the victim was trying to get hush money.
You were right. They are gonna come to that.
And it's led to people getting mad at Jimmy for stuff that either isn't true, is taken out of context, or is an industry standard. Dogpack claims that MrBeast is breaking broadcast standards and practices laws because he is influencing the game show to make it more dramatic.
I do think, so I thought like up until like the 23-minute mark, no, up until the 24-minute mark, I think the video is mostly bulletproof. I think there's flaws here. I think the only glaring omission is the fact that the guy did the fucking live stream. Not the live stream, the fucking GoFundMe. That's like a pretty important thing I would include. Even though I kind of agree with his argumentation for that.
Competitive. Like paying the Rubik's Cube guy to quit for the boys team.
And what's even worse is that the results of this video were completely scripted. According to a former MrBeast employee, it would have been a PR problem if the boys had won by a lot. And because so many of the female contestants were MrBeast employees who got out immediately, production stepped in to actually make the results of the challenge closer. You can actually see some of this happen on camera, like when Jimmy pays one of the boys $10,000 to leave, which is twice as much as the actual prize money, but doesn't make the same offer to the girls.
The boys were blowing you out of the water. If I paid the one guy who knew how to
sexist pig.
Solve him to leave. Now if you don't win, that was all for nothing.
In traditional media, this kind of rigging is actually completely illegal.
And then we have the standards of
It's broadcast. Like if there were dogfights on cruise ships, you wouldn't say that's the United States of America. It's fucking broadcasting.
Practices person. And if you don't know what that is, on any kind of a game show where there is a prize, you have to have somebody that ensures that it's fair. They are out there essentially to make sure that we don't do something that would favor one player or one tribe.
What MrBeast is doing is completely legal because you can make whatever game show you want. Tons of game shows do this, but I'll let a lawyer explain.
Dogpack alleges that MrBeast rigged the game so that the boys didn't win by so much. At one point, he says he wanted to make the game more competitive by trying to introduce
How many of you guys got the reference that I just made?
more boys to drop out. And in one sense, you know, duh, this is a MrBeast video. He makes various offers and changes the rules to make things more entertaining. He manipulates the events to add drama, much like any game show where things occur to make things interesting. But here, let's make a distinction. There are the rules as laid out to the contestants before they participate, and the rules as laid out in the video. Now, you can imagine that the contract between the contestant and, I don't know, Beast Enterprises lays out certain terms for the relationship. Now, I've never seen one of those contracts. My guess is that it gives Beast Enterprises quite a lot of flexibility to deal with the contestant. And then there are the terms that show up in the final video after the filming. those might not
I mean, I think I saw this legal video. I didn't really have a problem with it.
be the same. Now, whether you're allowed to change the rules in the video largely depends on how much freedom you have in the rules in your contract with the contestant. The reason for this is the First Amendment. You're generally allowed to produce whatever kind of TV show you want or YouTube video that you want. It was thought, and still is, that when it came to shows that were broadcast over the air before cable TV or largely the internet, because that was a limited resource, the argument went, the government had more.
So he doesn't think that there's any case, I imagine.
Say over what could be broadcast.
MrBeast isn't even trying to be sneaky about it.
Boys are blowing you out of the water. I paid the one guy who knew how to solve them to leave.
It's a stupid criticism where you have to be a child to care. Dogpack also alleges that Jimmy doesn't have random subscribers feature in his video.
Yeah, it's just not true. It's just not
big rewards
a
in return. Now it's your turn to do what MrBeast tells you, and you will win big rewards. But you actually won't unless you're famous or friends or family of a MrBeast employee. Seriously, we always fly subscribers down. They never fly random subscribers down. When they do pull someone from outside of North Carolina, it's usually somebody who's in the industry, who's camera trained, who has built a following.
All it took was one person to read the name tags of the contestants and then reach out to them. Here's people that live in Ohio, Missouri, Illinois, California, Colorado. The one that responded says he was flown out, and none of them have a big following. So if Dogpack had no real evidence to back this up.
Yeah, I think Dogpack says in his video, he goes, there is no way to tell if someone's a subscriber to your YouTube channel. This is the comment page on YouTube. I don't know if you're familiar with it. If you're not a YouTuber, like, this is a subscriber. Look, I can see this guy was subscribed for a week. This is just the comment page of my most recent video. So, like, this guy has been here for a week. This guy has been here for 7 months. These are all new viewers. This guy's been here for a week. Shade Tree Surgeon, 6 months. 2 years. New viewers, 7 months, 6 months, 2 weeks. Welcome to the channel. 2 years. So you definitely can single out subscribers. Most people say you have to comment, like the video, and subscribe. And you absolutely can do that.
Why did he make the claim at all? Well, it's because he recognized some of the employees in the videos.
I mean, it's not like he's ever rigged the results of a challenge. That would be impossible because he films with hundreds of random subscribers, right? Wrong. Let's look at this video. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
So many people had jobs.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend.
So that means none of them can be random.
So yeah, the random subscribers you see in challenges are actually never random. They're almost always local to MrBeast, and oftentimes friends and family of MrBeast employees, or just the employees themselves.
It's such an obvious logical fallacy. Bro, you really couldn't think of one other reason why employees might be in the video? It's been explained on podcast before.
If I'm not mistaken, you were in 100 Girls vs 100 Boys for $500,000.
Yes, that was an accident. I
Can she win that? Like, if she won that prize, would she get to keep
never
it?
ask him to be on a video. If I accidentally win, it might look like it was planned. On the day, everybody had to go for COVID tests. A lot of people came and they tested positive. And the girls somehow ended up with way too little contestants. So I got a call randomly from the studio and they're like, we need a female. I'm
that's
like,
totally
I am a
reasonable.
A MrBeast employee named Chucky explained that Dogpack also implies the video was faked because we have some employees in the video that were there to fill in for people who tested positive for COVID. There is nothing illegal about this. This happens in all sorts of productions. Otherwise, they would lose millions.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Have you guys ever gone to the filming of, like, America's Got Talent before? They used to film in New York, and what they would do, like, that show is completely fucking scripted. So basically the contestants are really performing and the judges are really judging. But, like, a guy comes out to hype you up and, like, tells you when to stand up and start clapping. It's crazy. Right? I've done this like once or twice. And you go in there and it tells you, like, now is the time where you need to give a full standing ovation. And now is the time to clap. And, like, now is the time to cheer and make a lot of noise. And he comes out and he goes, we're not watching TV, folks. We're making TV. And that stuck with me because I realized, like, holy shit, this show's fucking fake.
Millions of dollars just because a few people don't show up.
There's absolutely nothing illegal about using friends or acquaintances in your videos. And it doesn't necessarily follow that just because MrBeast might have known some of the people who appeared in his videos that he rigged the videos in their favor. Now, your mileage may vary as to whether it's a good or bad look to
You're joking and be like, oh wow, the reality TV show is fake. But it's like all of those moments where, like, the crowd is cheering and people are crying and, like, maybe the crying is real, but, like, it's all scripted. Like, they're told to do that.
include friends in videos where there's money on the line. Now, arguably, you might conclude that if the video—
It's literally the same with sports and audio. I'm convinced you guys have never watched a sporting event in your life. Yeah, maybe for professional wrestling. But even then, though.
It makes it appear that every contestant is random, and it turns out that that's not the case, then it makes it more likely that the outcome is rigged in their favor. MrBeast, after all, might want to patronize his friends. But you might also conclude that there is no connection between the identity of the contestants and the outcome. Now, I haven't reviewed every single MrBeast video. I have a life. Personally, I think this is probably closer to the truth, but I can see how people might feel deceived. And as it happens, I happen to know several people who have appeared in MrBeast videos. Again, because he needed someone to fill in at the last second and they happened to be nearby. It was definitely not rigged or predetermined. Now, I can't speak to all MrBeast videos, but in at least one instance where he knew the contestants, the video was certainly not rigged.
There's so many random no-name people that have competed in MrBeast challenges that have no following, and let's face it, if contestants—
Yeah, and like, why Dogpack's like, it's never fucking like this? Like, how could you say that with impunity and not like, you're leaving yourself open here? You could say there are cases where a lot of the people are, like, there are definitely ways to formulate that argument where it sounds like a lot more valid than what he actually said.
were routinely abused during production, or if all the videos were scripted, there would be hundreds of testimonies, not just the handful we have now. MrBeast can't stop his own employees from constantly leaking stuff. How can he stop random contestants? The complaints from Dogpack are so nitpicky sometimes. Oh, he used CGI in a video. That means the video is fake.
You ever faked a video?
No. But this train track is CGI.
The tip of the train track is CGI because he thought it looked better when it rolled into the pit.
These bus wheels are CGI.
Why are the crowd actually getting applauded? Well, I mean, if you're in the front row and you're not doing what they say, I'm pretty sure they can literally just replace you. Like, if you act up, they'll just take you out and they'll bring in somebody from the back that works for the production.
Explosion is fake. Shredder is CGI.
Of course it's fake. It's not passed off as real.
This island cost more than $1.
Yes, it cost them $1 and then $27 in taxes and fees. Dude, MrBeast is such a liar!
It's like you will clap or you will go home.
A paid actor.
Yo, that raccoon is a paid actor. If you watch the video, it is clearly a domesticated raccoon. It's used as a bit where the raccoon shows up and they all freak out. How much you care is up to you. You know, I really didn't care about all the pedos.
Yeah, it's kids content. Who gives a fuck?
But this raccoon, too far.
Got a sad life, go to fucking hell. Are you stupid or disabled, man? I can't fucking tell.
This last section is just a few of the many allegations that I think make zero sense. Dogpack tries to blame a rocket ship blowing up on Jimmy.
MrBeast did a live stream where for only $10...
This is crazy, bro. This is a nuclear... Willie showed me this at some point.
Could send a picture to the moon. 3 years later, the spaceship finally launched, carrying beautiful pictures of deceased loved ones to the moon, where they would be immortalized. It fucking exploded.
How would he know that? He acts like this was a scam.
So obviously, MrBeast refunded everything.
It fucking exploded. MrBeast destroyed it. He killed everyone on the board.
Right? Right? Is it,
Dude, it's like they basically paid for, like, you own that star. Dude, do you think that he would get mad if MrBeast sold, like, a star? But, like, do you know that you'll never be able to make it to your star? You'll never be able to see it. Like, when you die, they'll just resell your star. You didn't actually own that star.
MrBeast's fault that the rocket exploded? No. Is it his fault that he advertised it as for $10 I will put your photo on the moon when he couldn't guarantee that? Yes.
NASA couldn't guarantee the Challenger from exploding. How could MrBeast? The shuttle exploding is an obvious risk when paying for this. He goes on to blame MrBeast for obesity around the world and calls MrBeast a hypocrite for caring about people's health because he sells chocolate, and that's unhealthy.
Like, MrBeast is bringing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of new people to the candy aisle, whether he wants to admit it or not.
People are just...
Dude, there were kids who were never gonna try chocolate until MrBeast made a chocolate bar. Dude, these kids whose mothers are buying them this chocolate right now would never have ever they would have never eaten chocolate their entire lives until Jimmy came out and produced it.
Walking to the chocolate aisle, and instead of buying...
Dude, bro, Halloween is it was barren. They were only giving away, like, Laffy Taffy and Twizzlers until MrBeast came along. They have fucking theme parks centered around chocolate, you fucking moron.
Hershey's buying Feastables. Like, people who never would have bought chocolate in Walmart are walking to the chocolate aisle specifically to buy Feastables.
And Jimmy's retarded, too, for saying that. People who would have never bought chocolate.
So, a new market.
Exactly.
Jimmy's retarded for saying that.
New customers.
I guarantee he's just saying that to try to make himself sound better. Like, wow, dude, I've created this fucking... Look at this. I've literally brought new people into the chocolate market. He deserves it for saying something so dumb.
To the aisle.
That's an incredible business achievement.
But I know that poor diet and especially excessive sugar consumption is the #1 cause of death and health problems in America, including some of the health problems that MrBeast claims to care so much about. Blindness, deafness, loss of limbs.
Wow, Jimmy's killing people. Jimmy doesn't want people to
Jimmy is literally type 3 diabetes. It's you heard it here first, folks.
be blind, so we should stop selling his chocolate bar. Real sound logic. These people were mostly blind from cataract.
He said his dry burger tasted good. Okay, so first of all, MrBeast burger is made in ghost kitchens. If I have a MrBeast burger and you have a MrBeast burger, we're eating it from 2 different places, unless you literally live in my fucking walls. Just to be clear, that's MrBeast burger. Second of all, of course he said his product is good. Okay, when Tommy C made Get to the Point News and he said he was competing with Keemstar, what was he supposed to say? My show is worse than yours? He's competing with it. Oh, hey, McDonald's put out their burger. It's the second best burger on the planet. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to say?
It's not a sugar overdose.
They can't see, but we have all the...
Hey, dude, I made MrBeast burger. I kind of think it's ass, but maybe you'll like it. That's not really a good marketing pitch.
Technology to fix it.
Yep, half of all the blindness in the world is people who need a 10-minute surgery.
It's worse than COVID. Hospitals are overrun with MrBeast customers losing limbs.
MrBeast also just launched a combo with Zaxby's, which if you get a soda, it's over 2,000 calories for one meal.
We are just about to witness
You ever been to the movie theater?
Boy, a 59-year-old woman, receive prosthetic legs and walk for the very first time.
Feed the beast, dude. 666, he's the devil.
This make me cry because this special for her.
Wow, what a hypocrite. Did I miss the part where he said to eat this every day? 6 Feastables a day? Adults, children, we all enjoy unhealthy foods. It's all about eating it in moderation. Let's stop being Karens about a fast food collab. MrBeast launched a Lunchable knockoff that is slightly healthier than a normal Lunchable. It has Prime instead of a Capri Sun. And people lost their minds. Dogpack posts, Lunchly is part of a genius YouTube strategy. Here's how. Unhealthy, lethargic kids provide a higher audience.
Thing is, Dogpack's joking here, I think. Maybe he's got real deadpan delivery. But like, there's no doubt in my mind he really thinks this is true.
Retention rate than healthy, active kids. By creating food products that debilitate his audience, MrBeast is able to increase the average view duration. This is a key metric to getting promoted by the YouTube algorithm. So MrBeast doesn't just optimize his content for the YouTube algorithm, he optimizes his audience as well. Now, Dogbag would get heat for this delusional take, and he backtracked saying it was just a joke. But we just watched a whole section of his video where he said MrBeast was killing people, making them lose limbs and die.
Excessive sugar consumption is the #1 cause of death and health problems in America.
He's retweeting people who are calling it poisonous to kids. This is what I ate for lunch, and the microplastics in it made me stronger. I don't get why MrBeast is expected to fix.
That is my favorite quote from any video I've ever seen.
He's retweeting people who are calling it poisonous to kids. This is what I ate for lunch, and the microplastics in it made me stronger. I don't get why
I love this video, man.
Beast is expected to fix the school lunch system. These are unreasonable expectations for a YouTuber. Your product is processed garbage with no nutritional value. Of course it is. It's a knockoff Lunchables. He never claimed otherwise. What, is he supposed to be selling salads? If you don't like it, just don't buy it for you or your kid.
Wait, that was controversial? Wait, who is that controversial for? Like for Reddit? Like is Reddit mad about that, or are you guys mad about that? Wait, please tell me you guys aren't mad about that. It's Reddit, right? Right? Please tell me it's right. Lyrics? Dude, are you telling me that people will turn around and say gambling isn't a fucking problem because like gambling on stream isn't a problem? Because like the kids don't buy their own, like the kids can't have access to the casinos and it's a job for a parent to take over? Is gonna get on MrBeast's case because too many parents are gonna shove fucking Lunchables in their stupid kids' mouths? Really? The whole, like, where are the parents people are mad about Lunchables? What do you think, the kids grocery shopping? They're taking a bus to the grocery store to buy these? Who do you think buys the Lunchables? What? Do you think that MrBeast has created the obesity? No, you know what created the obesity epidemic? Lazy fucking parents. Bro, I was not this fat until I literally had access to my own car and I could go drive around and get whatever fucking food I wanted. Okay? Like, what are you talking about? Dude, if you have a fucking fat 9-year-old, that's not the kid's fault. That's the mom's fault. If they're like those morbidly obese fucking 10-year-olds, are you telling me that's Jimmy's fault? If you got a morbidly obese fucking death fat 10-year-old, that's gonna be fucking Jimmy's fault? And I gotta hear about that from the people who are like, guys, it's not, it doesn't matter when you gamble on Twitch. Those kids, they come with the parents, the credit cards, I don't know. That's so fucking stupid. Lyric said he doesn't care. Am I getting like one guide? Nobody argued that? Oh. Well, damn.
With dicks and weak men with vagina.
Dogpack is going to falsely.
That is the truth. That is an absolute fucking truth bomb. 100%. I like, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I watched Nickelodeon when I was a kid, and I didn't watch a shit ton of TV. I didn't watch any more TV than anybody else. But like every single Nickelodeon commercial was like created in a lab to get retards like me to ask my parents to buy shit for me. You know why I didn't have a bunch of crazy fucking toys? It wasn't for lack of trying. They advertised to me like crazy. It's because my parents had fucking self-control and they told me no. Some of you don't have that. Some of you are like spoiled demonic entities, all right? And some of your kids are going to be treated the same way because some of you are probably going to be pretty shitty parents. It's not my fucking problem. It's not Jimmy's fucking problem. Advertising to kids isn't immoral. It's how, like, that's literally how every fucking, like, that's how the fucking Nickelodeon does it. That's how the fucking Cartoon Network does it. That's how all these fucking superhero shows are marketing their fucking toys. They literally make Disney movies so they can sell more toys to children. That's immoral? I don't know. MrBeast advertising doesn't negate free will. Cut to Nick now with 45 pinball machines and in crippling debt. I would be in crippling debt, but unfortunately, Bo Blacks and Tipster existed. Alright, and they've bailed me out.
Accuse somebody and make the real allegations.
That's the thing, though. I bought all these cool things because I didn't have that many cool. Actually, I had a pretty good childhood. I'm not gonna front, folks. I did have a pretty good childhood, but yeah, I have the money. I can buy whatever I want now. I can make my own financial decisions. If I'm retarded, it's my fault. I'm an adult, okay? But like, I don't know, bro. It's Jimmy's fault. You're fucking stupid kids eating Lunchables. Sounds like an iPad mom who doesn't want to parent. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like a lazy fucking parent.
Seem less credible. I'd argue he's already done that.
The allegations that I thought was less credible was that Locoya Hill roofied people. I was like, eh.
Oh, that made it in. Yeah, that's what I would have put that earlier.
I was very borderline even putting that in.
But you did it anyway.
But since I published that, it's been more corroborated.
You should corroborate that before you put it in. Mr.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big fucking thing to need to corroborate. Yeah.
Beast is going to respond, but only when Dogpack finishes putting out the allegations. The thing is, he won't do it. He like keeps teasing it. He wants to save it for later.
Video, you kind of called it a 2.5. So there is going to be an official third, perhaps after Jimmy decides to make a statement.
Yeah, like, man, just fire James Warren and Locoya Hill. Fire them. Don't just move them around. Or I'm gonna start dropping nukes.
The kid's gone on a fucking power trip, and it's fucking annoying. It's just so stupid. Like, this guy's like, oh, I'm the virtuous savior of all these MrBeast employees. Also, I'm on a schizophrenic power trip.
And I have a lot of other interviews and other allegations that I'm working on putting together, so I have something for when MrBeast responds.
It doesn't make any sense to me. The allegations should be able to stand on their own. How can MrBeast give an accurate response if you don't accurately put the allegations out there? It's fucking stupid. There's a lot more criticism that could go around, but that'll have to be for another time. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to check out Zbiotics. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon: Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Riveter, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Drink.
Ew, Riveter. That ruined the video. Video sucked. 0 out of 10. No, it was I don't care. There were issues I had with the video. It certainly wasn't perfect. It's not Willie's best video he's ever made, but I don't think it's like a fucking terrible video that needs to be deleted.